Hello, welcome to my Lifestyle Chav Chat channel. So this is my lifetime chronological timeline, part 5. So yeah, after I completed my A-levels, during the holidays, I was working in Ibis hotel for a couple of months, and the manager there, she was Greek. She's a really lovely lady actually, but I don't know why, for some reason she just wanted to get maximum utilage out of me. Yeah, and so I started working as a receptionist there at the Ibis hotel off Bordesley Green, which is on the way to the city centre. But she wanted to train. She says, "Oh, you know what I think is a really good idea is to have you trained in each department." So she trained me on reception, she trained me in housekeeping, and she trained me for work in the kitchen as well. So I think they called it front of house. So I was there for a couple of months throughout the summer holidays, and at this time I had to go into hospital for an operation. And during this time, I was considering if I was going to go to university, if I wasn't going to bother with going to university, and if I went, what sort of subject I was going to study at university, and basically what I was going to do. If I was just going to keep on working, or what I was going to do. So, as I said previously, I always wanted to do music. I wanted to be a singer. Actually, that's what I wanted to do. But I was always, since I was young, I was always told by my parents, you know what, if you want to go into music and acting and theatre and all this kind of stuff, yeah, just make sure, they said, what you need to do is have a career that you can fall back on in case it doesn't work out. That's what they used to tell me. Which, to be honest, it's not bad advice. It's okay advice. So, I was always conscious of this. And in my life, maybe everybody gets it, I always go through life where I have two choices. You know, I can either go this way, which will take me down this path, or I can go this way, which will take me down this path. And it's always a bit of a dilemma for me. Shall I take this path, or shall I take that path? And basically, I think I was thinking to go to university to do music, but at the same time, I didn't just want to end up with this, going to uni to do music, ending up with this music degree that didn't really leave me with much broad scope to do much else. You know, I still wanted to keep my options open in terms of a career. You know, what I wanted to do, like, you know, career-wise, as my parents told me, in case it didn't work out. So basically what I'm saying is I didn't want to just do this poxy creative industries degree that, you know, once I finished I couldn't really do much with. You know, I was always conscious of that. So I always also had this interest in working behind the scenes in television or in media or in film. I was quite passionate about films around this time. Films and film production. So my dad, he always saw me in journalism. I don't know, I think because since I was younger, I was like always good at writing and English and all this sort of thing. And I think he used to see some of the black journalists on the television and envision like me in that sort of role. So I don't know if it was the influence of my dad, I don't know, but me personally, I had that interest anyway in films, you know, and obviously having an interest in theatre and, you know, how they put all, you know, the scenes scenography together, cinematography and all of this sort of stuff. So because of that, I was like, okay, if I get my degree, shall I get my degree in like music, or shall I do it in more like journalism and broadcasting and this sort of thing? And so what I ended up doing was I heard that Wolverhampton University, they did this degree, but the foundation year was at South Birmingham College in Digbeth. They had a course, it was called it was a Multimedia. So the course was a HND in Multimedia. Multimedia meaning, as in other words, what it says, multimedia. So media, mediums. So for example, web design, like video, film production, learning all about the equipment, about sound production, and the softwares that would entail as well. So basically that's what I did. I decided, I said, what I'm going to do is go to this college, get this HND Multimedia, learn all about what I just said, production, broadcasting, production, putting together my own website and this sort of thing, learning how to promote myself, put my promotional package together and all of this sort of thing, design, web-based design and all of this. I said, I'll do that, and at least, when I finish, if I want, I can go into this type of career, And I said, what I'll do is, in my own time, in my spare time, what I'll do is make myself familiar with the music department and meet some musicians and work on my music and work on songs in this way, as more of a social aspect, more as like a hobby, more of like a social hobby aspect, yeah. So that's what I decided to do, and that's what I did. So when I first started this course, I thought it was a 3-year course, and when I was into the course, I realised it was actually a 4-year course. So when I realised that, and not only that, it wasn't really what I expected. So because of that, to cut a long story short, I think I done 1 year there. It was a HND, but I only got my HNC because I just did the 1 year. And the following year, I went to Wolverhampton University to do my BA degree, Bachelor of Honours degree in combined video production and drama. And that was a 3-year course. So I wanted to, after my first year at Wolverhampton, I wanted to transfer to Birmingham Uni. And the reason why I wanted to transfer to Birmingham Uni was because I decided what I wanted to do was be in front of the camera, on the stage instead of behind the stage. And also because when I done my degree, in my first year at Wolverhampton, I was doing video production, and there was a stage where I was working on a project with this girl who was doing all this filming outside, and we had to be logging all this equipment with us everywhere we went outside around Birmingham, on the train, all the way from Wolverhampton to Birmingham. And I decided, it was too much back and forth, between Wolverhampton and Birmingham. And also, Birmingham University was known to be a higher class university. For various reasons. Basically, I decided to transfer to Birmingham. So I transferred into my second year, and I done performing and visual arts there in my second year. And basically, it got towards the end of my third year at Birmingham University doing performing arts, Bachelor of Honours degree. About 2 months before I finished the course, I left and I started working doing supply teaching. So this was 2005, and the very first school that I worked in was Braidwood Centre for the Deaf, Hodge Hill School. And started work. It was around about May, and I worked as a supply teacher from May till the end of the academic year, till July. And in the beginning of the following year, I went to South Korea to go and teach English to kindergarten children and elementary aged children. That's what I did. Yeah, is it called Gimcheon in South Korea? And so in this space of time, in between me being at South Birmingham College doing a HNC in Multimedia and my first year at Wolverhampton University, I did this summertime programme called Gallery 37, and it was like a programme for young people who were interested in the creative industries, and they had different activities that you could participate in. So, for example, if you were interested in fashion, it was for 6 weeks during the summer holidays. You could partake in sewing activities and creating your own clothes items. If you were interested in, films or what other creative arts are there? Basically, I was interested in the performing arts side. So I worked on the dance project. So that's what it was all like to do with. It was like every day, 5 days a week, throughout the summer holidays. We got paid for it. It's like a commission thing. And you'd work with a group of about 20 other people in the class, and there was the lead artist, the assistant lead artist, who would run that particular activity. So as I said, the activity I done was a dance project. So within the 6 weeks we worked on dance pieces, choreography, and putting a show together, and then we put the show on. I think at the CBSO, I think it was at that time. That was throughout summer holidays. Then I went to Wolverhampton. So then after my first year at Wolverhampton, I did the same programme again. It's called Gallery 37, Arts Under Canvas. And it actually originates in Chicago, and then they brought it here to the UK. So I done the same thing again second time around. This time I was like an assistant lead artist on the programme. I wasn't a participant, I was an assistant lead artist. And again, on the dance project it was. Yeah, we put a dance piece together. But that time around, I remember the lead artists that I was working with, they incorporated a lot of, they wanted it to be like a sensory experience, and they included a lot of audio visual sensory equipment, like with the backdrop projection and all this sort of stuff. They were heavily into all this kind of thing, like making it more inclusive for like young people who had like SEN and special needs, so they were very much into all this using all this audio visual equipment to bring in like that sensory type of experience. But that was another, it was like It was dance incorporating multimedia, that project was. So after I transferred to Birmingham Uni, as well as that is when I got involved I started doing like Birmingham Opera Company. I started performing with them, and I got really heavily interested in opera, and that is what fueled my decision to transfer to do a performing arts degree, because I got very inspired about opera, and I was like, okay, well, opera, it incorporates music, singing, dance and drama, a lot of it, plus the whole set design, theatre design aspect. Also, it's got the whole historical, can't call it English, but narrative side as well. So, I was like, well, opera, it's like everything, isn't it? It's everything rolled into one, isn't it? And Birmingham Opera Company, they were all about making opera more, people more aware about opera, and making it more accessible to audiences who wouldn't usually think about going to the opera. That's what that was all about. And as I said, I got very inspired by that, which is why I decided to transfer into my second year at Birmingham University to do my performing arts, music, dance and drama degree. But my third year, as I said, I left that course. So I ended up getting my diploma of higher education instead of my actual BA Honours degree. And started working as a day-to-day support teacher in and around schools in the West Midlands. That's what I did. And then the following year, I went to South Korea for just short of a year. Just under a year. I was there. Right, yeah, so I was talking about Gallery 37, so yeah. I done Gallery 37 the one year during the summer holidays. I done Gallery 37 the following year as an assistant lead artist during the summer holidays. And the following year, which would have been when I was at Birmingham University doing my performing arts degree, in March I was like lead artist on a show that I put on, that I collaborated with some of my friends at the Drum in Birmingham. They call it the Legacy Centre now or something, the Heritage Centre or something like this it's called now. And I wrote some articles for Don Kinch's New Century Arts Wired Up magazine. This was all in the same year that I was at Birmingham University in my second year, and I was doing Birmingham Opera at the same time as well. I forgot to mention that one. So, and then as I said, so I mentioned yesterday, I was talking yesterday or the day before about famous people that I've met or that I've seen, and I mentioned Suzanne Verdi, the presenter, newsreader presenter. So around this time, I was also on the board. I was a board member of the Dance Exchange in Birmingham, because at the end of this Gallery 37 Arts Under Canvas programme, they selected a certain number of people, young people. They chose, I think, 25 of us to sit on the boards of different arts organisations. We had to choose 3, and out of the 3 that we chose, we got put on one of them. And I got put on the Dance Exchange, even though that was not one of my choices, but that's the one I got put on. And that's where I met Suzanne Verdi. I attended probably about 4 of those meetings, of the board meetings. And Suzanne Verdi, she was on the board as well, the Dance Exchange as well. So yeah, that was that. That was around that same time as well. Already, I didn't complete my third year, but I started working in the schools went to Korea. When I came back, I done this, it was like an events management program course, all to do with like events. It was mainly to do with like being working on the doors, for example, at places like the NEC or the NIA, or the CIC, for large events. It was all to do with like customer service and managing, the audience, and like being like an event steward. It was a bit like that, and to do with like being a security guard. But they implemented, along with the course, they talked a lot about opening your own business if you wanted to, it was called, that was it, Events Enterprise, that was it. So it was all to do with, we were creating our own business proposals for an event that we ourselves would run. That's what it was all about. I did this course, and the show that I did, which was called Sin City, it was part of Collide Festival earlier the previous year. Myself and my friend, we collaborated and worked on script, and the script went on with New Century Arts Productions. March 2007 it was. Yeah, went on at the Drum. Yeah, it went on there at the Drum. Yeah, that was that year. Oh yeah. And the same year I started working as a supply teacher at Stratford-upon-Avon High School. So, because what I mean, previous to that, I was an agency worker. When I went to work at Stratford-upon-Avon, it was the same job, but I had it was a contracted position. I had like 33 hours, something like that, based at Stratford-upon-Avon High School. And I was there for about 3 months. And when I returned back from South Korea, I decided to complete my degree at Open University. So I spent 2 years part-time completing my final year. And when I done my A-levels, in my first year I was working at Bar Coast as a bartender. And in my second year I said, you know what, I'm just going to not stop working and focus on my studies. So from that experience I learned that when I'm studying, I study much better when I'm focused on my studies, instead of like trying to do my assignments as well as working part-time. So I think because of that, when I returned to complete my BA, I just wanted to focus and get done what I needed to get done. So it was the same situation. I didn't want to work so I spent 2 years completing my BA at Open University, getting my Open degree in the arts subjects. Right, and while I'm on a roll, I may as well just continue. So, because I was going to end the video there, but I may as well just continue. So, I spent 2 years getting my degree at Open University, and I finished that in 2010. And that same year, I performed. I had an associate who I knew from being involved with like creative stuff around Birmingham. So that's where I knew Kakumo, and he approached me and asked me if I would like to be in his show because he had a commission for the Bass Festival. So in June that year, I performed at the Rep, at the Door. At the Rep, the Door is a smaller stage for community arts, community projects at the Rep. So I performed at the Bass Festival as part of his show at the Rep. Yeah. And later on in the same year, I performed again in my own show, my own script. It was all to do, it's called The Gypsy in Search of the Emerald Tablets. Actually, for this show, I wanted somebody else to perform it, but I think under the direction and supervision, I was advised, to perform it myself, so I did. So, the same year, later on in the year, I performed in my own script. Just like a short piece, because it was like work in progress. So, and that was at the Drum. Yeah, and so later on in the same year, I said to myself,
taking me this long to complete my BA degree, I said, you know what, I may as well just stay on for one extra year and get my master's. So I was actually going to do a master's in art history. Then I changed my mind to, what am I going to do with this art history degree for? What's the point in that? So instead I decided to do humanities, English literature. So that's what I did for that was a 1 year course. But oh yeah, there's 2 parts to that MA, but I just done the first part, so it's like my postgrad modules. I got my postgrad modules, but I haven't done the second part to that. So it's kind of like half a master. It's like my postgrad modules in English literature. I just stayed on for the extra year to do that.